Hi guys, welcome back. Samsung's new budget option is the Galaxy F22 and its specifications are not very complainable for a Samsung phone. But then since there are other great offerings for the price the F22 is selling, well, is it a good option to buy this phone over them just for the Samsung tagline? Well, this video is all about that. Now firstly about the pricing, well the F22 has two variants in which the base variant's pricing is 12,499 Indian rupees, and for that price the RAM available is 4GB and the storage is 64GB. Then about the second variant, well its price is 14,499 Indian rupees, and for that price the RAM available is 6GB and the storage is 128GB. Now here storage is expandable, but about the RAM there is no sort of option to expand or boost it. So when you choose a variant, you need to think a lot. And here I did go for the base variant, and it's mainly because that's the pricing many will be focusing because of the marketing. And here after using this variant, well to be frank, this phone is a pretty solid and balanced one in the segment. There is no major issues to point out, and also there isn't any major strong points too. All that's necessary is done in a neat manner. And that's easily noticeable with the 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display. It's a pretty good panel based on quality. Now this is a HD panel, which means the resolution is 1600 by 720 pixels, which in turn gives a pixel density of 274 ppi, and hence if you are looking very close, well you can see the lower resolution impact, but to be frank, in a day-to-day usage scenario, it's not at all something that you're going to notice. And given the fact that the quality is not compromised is the big plus point of this display. Because here the viewing angles is neat and the peak brightness level is more than sufficient, and about the colors, well they are sharp and also there isn't any light bleeding or unevenly lit portions in this display. And here a key thing to highlight is that this display is a 90Hz panel. So Samsung has actually heated up the competition because this is a great feature to be provided in a phone in this price range. And because of this, well scrolls and swipes are smooth, and actually it's a support for the lower performance processor used in the F22. The MediaTek Helio G80 processor used in the F22 is not a major thing to hype about because basically it's a proper budget level chipset. And hence what I was expecting was a lot of choppiness and issues, but to my surprise, things were not that bad. In fact, regular usage was totally issue free. Your normal day-to-day tasks all work smoothly and in an adequately speedy manner, so for the basic stuff, you won't notice the phone struggling. And actually even games like Asphalt 9 to an extent does work fine. There is noticeable frame drops in graphic heavy portions, but still the game runs well, and also the phone doesn't get very hot even while playing this game for approximately 20 minutes in a stretch. So that's a big advantage, and here I feel the reason why normal stuff is hiccup free is because of the display being just a HD one. There isn't much pixels to push, and also the higher refresh rate is an helping hand. And here because of such kind of an experience, I feel the F22 doesn't disappoint from a user experience perspective. And here the current Android version is Android 11 and the skin is One UI 3.1, and actually there is already an update available. And right now I do like One UI because it's functional and the overall visual look is good too. Now in the software side, well Samsung has promised two major software update support for the F22, and here security updates will be pushed for 3 years. And this claim is a very strong one for the Galaxy F22, especially in this segment. So that's all great, and now the next key area everyone will be interested in is the camera system. And this one, well for the segment, the back camera system is good if the light available is favorable. But then about the front camera, it's bad. I mean, I did test this 13 megapixel f2.2 aperture selfie camera in different lighting scenarios, and the outcome, well every time it was processed and smoothened, and overall the selfies did look kinda dull. And the same is applicable with the videos this camera records. The video output is not very stable and the overall scene looks artificial, and this is not a clip that I'll prefer to share. But here while checking the back camera system, well there are 4 cameras for the numbers, but then just 2 are the usable ones, in which the main camera is a 48 megapixel one with aperture f2.0, then there is an ultra wide camera whose aperture is f2.2, and the other 2 cameras are the filler cameras where both are 2 megapixel cameras with apertures f2.4. And here as I said earlier, both the usual cameras they perform well if the light available is good. In such a scenario, the main camera shots are detailed with a lot of contrast, and about the dynamic range, well it's just fine, but still the overall outcome looks appealing. And about the ultra wide angle camera, well the field of view is really wide at 123 degree, and here even though the edge looks stretched, I'm happy that such kind of an option does exist. But then this camera is only usable if the lighting is good. Now the main camera in dull lighting condition does take usable photos, but here in these pics, even though night mode is turned on, there is a lot of noise. But that said, the 1080p video at 30 fps are to be frank pretty neat looking. Stabilization is decent, and here the tone is saturated, and also there wasn't any major focusing issue. And I do think this phone's video recording capability with the main camera is surely taking a top spot for video recording in this segment, even though the max resolution supported is just 1080p at 30 fps. So that's everything about the camera system in the Galaxy F22, and here there isn't anything special or a strong advantage happening with the camera system used in this phone, but here an area where there is a major advantage is with the battery backup. The battery capacity of the Galaxy F22 is 6000 mAh, and here even when the setting was set in their peak state, I was getting approximately 7.5 hours of screen on time. It was literally hard to kill this phone even with solid days of usage, and for an average user, this battery will last 2 days. And it's good that it's like that, because while charging the phone, you need approximately 2.5 hours to fully charge it from 10%, because the included charger with the phone is just a 15-watt charger. And if in case you're wondering about whether you're gonna get a case with this phone, well, you're not getting it. And yet that omission doesn't seem like an issue because the build quality of the Galaxy F22 is done in a decent manner. This phone doesn't have any flexing issue or gap formation, and in fact the phone doesn't make any creaking noise while trying to flex it, so in all that regard I'm really happy with the build quality of the F22. But here this phone is actually not a sleek looking Samsung phone because the thickness is 9.4 mm and also the weight is on the heavier side. And actually I did notice the heft, but then Samsung has done the weight balance in the right way and hence the phone doesn't feel top heavy. But here an area I wish that Samsung would have done better is with these buttons. These plastic buttons feel very cheap. Now the whole body of the phone is made of plastic, but those sections they felt to be of good quality, and hence this button area was a big letdown. Now the feedback is decent, but then the quality issue, well, it actually spoils the whole button usage experience. And here in this power button you get the fingerprint scanner, which is a decent scanner because it's adequately fast, and also the accuracy was almost always spot on. Now you might have noticed this grill, and it's the speaker grill, and this speaker it's actually a good one. Even though the speaker system of this phone is a single unit, it gets very loud, and even in the max state, the sound quality is totally fine. And if in case you want to use a wired headphone, well, a headphone jack of good quality is available. And here even the earpiece quality is good, so if you're into making a lot of calls, well, the experience is enjoyable. Then if you're wondering about the number of SIMs that you can use with this phone, well, it's 2, and both of them must be nano SIM, and here the supported network setting is up to LTE. And also about the Bluetooth version, well, it's 5, and about the Wi-Fi version, it's dual band Wi-Fi, and here you also get all the needed sensors except NFC. Well, I guess that's everything about this budget option from Samsung. Now this Galaxy F22 is actually a device I enjoyed using, and here there wasn't anything that felt to be a major disappointment for the segment. Overall, Samsung has made a decent phone, and in this budget, this is a sheer competitor for phones like the Naso 30, and here this F22's advantage over other phones including the Naso 30 is the fact that Samsung did keep note of maintaining the quality in all the needed areas. And by doing that, well, they have made a phone that overall does offer a satisfactory experience. That's all for this video guys, hope you liked it. If so, please do hit the like button, and also please don't forget to subscribe to the channel because you won't miss our future contents, and also it does help our channel a lot. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.